So you're an MVP, John. What are your thoughts and memories of this event?
Well, Gio, a lot of thoughts. I think I'm certainly out here probably almost 30 consecutive years at this facility, and I'll tell you, there's not a better place to play. The park has changed over the years. They used to take the scoreboards out, as you remembered. That was always a fun obstacle. Added to the ambiance a little bit, but I'll tell you, the people around here who support the game, everything about it, you can't dislike anything about being out here at Forest Park. Beautiful place. The guys who run it, Larry Pikars, does an awesome job, and I love it to death.
Yeah, some of the younger kids don't remember those scoreboards, but I used to hit the right center. So I used to have a scoreboard on the main diamond. It was in left center, and on the second diamond, it was in right center. So when I don't know about anybody else, but I used to aim for it and just let the confusion take over.
Yeah, it was definitely tough for the outfielders to gauge whether that line drive was going to go off it or not. Probably made a difference in a lot of big ball games, but yeah, it was kind of neat and almost sad to see it go when it went. But it's a much cleaner field now with them gone.
Yeah, the ball's a little truer now. You don't have as many fluke things, although we still see some of you bigger guys hitting the ball into the seats where the fans are, and then it's all you can get, which I always thought was kind of funny watching outfielders trying to dig through lawn chairs to find a softball.
Absolutely. It again, it adds to the feeling of the game, and to have, it's almost like an outfield fence of humanity. Everybody's out there, and sometimes, occasionally, one of the bigger hitters will get one and drive it out that far. It'll go into the crowd, and it is funny watching the outfielders go after it and try to get it in as fast as possible.
There you go. That's John Westemeyer. Thanks, Johnny. Enjoy your playing in the Legends game?
Yes.
Nice. And here we got another MVP, Mike Alongi. How you doing, Michael?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, you're a little younger kid, but you got an MVP on the shelf. Tell me some of your favorite No Glove National moments.
Well, my first one here was, I think, in 08 or 09 with Heat. I was playing a little bit here or there. A second baseman got hurt, so I actually got to play. It's a great experience. We were losing 9-1 to Lemonheads in the 5th or 6th inning, and we came back and won that game 10-9. So that was a great moment. And obviously 2014, when we came out on Thursday, and our goal was to just make it to Sunday, and we ended up winning the whole thing. So it was very good.
Yeah, I remember you guys beat the heck out of my Mudville team, and I was thinking to myself, man, we really played lousy. And then you guys proceeded to beat the heck out of everybody that weekend.
Yeah, our goal the whole year, because we were kind of a first or second year team, was every tournament we played, just make it till Sunday and see what happens. And we won Thursday, we won Friday, and then we won our first game Saturday. And we were thinking to ourselves, hey, we got a shot at this. So it was really, really good.
Yeah, you guys were really fun to watch that year. You guys were just flying around the field, playing good defense, pounding the ball. I mean, there was no doubt that you guys were the best team that weekend.
Yeah, I think we averaged over 12 or 13 runs. So, I mean, if you hit like that and you play some good defense, I think you're bound to win. So it was fun. It was very fun.
There you go, folks. Mike Alongi, former MVP. In my mind, the best third baseman in softball. So there's Chris Geron. He's got an MVP, co-MVP, but you also have an MVP at a major national, too.
Yep. I don't remember what year it was. I think, one of the last years I was on Signature, I think.
Yeah, well, what are your memories and thoughts on, because you've played on a couple of really good teams out here in this tournament, so you're kind of like the good luck charm.
I was actually just recently talking with Kevin Duff about this, and we were talking about how many championships games we've been in Forest Park. Well, I've won one, he's won two now, but we've been in that game quite a few times, so it's been a pretty exciting, memorable experience just playing in this tournament. I remember my first time playing with Twist after we beat your team, actually, to get in Westchester to finally make it into this tournament. So it was eye-opening that first year too. So it was.
Yeah, I think we had a game that was like in the Westchester tournament, 21-20. I actually went back and looked at the book, and I think combined both infields only had like 4 assists / putouts because the wind was blowing out and everybody was just smoking the ball.
Yeah, it's pretty weird how you can remember those specific games like that. That's one of them that I'll probably most likely remember the rest of my life.
Well, I've been in 2 games like that, and everybody says, man, that was one of the greatest games. And I've been on the losing end because Thunder beat us up in the Chicagoland on field 2 with the wind blowing out in a game that the umpire actually told us he was going to call flat strikes because otherwise everybody was going to be walking. It was about a 40-mile-an-hour breeze. So,
yeah. There's definitely a lot about this tournament that will stay with you. Wins, losses, all of it. So I do love coming out here no matter what the situation is during the year.
well, that's Chris Geron, won a long time. He's been one of the better players in the game. Got 2 guys here that have won MVPs. Junior, you got 2. How many you got, Rick?
2.
2? So
1.5, something like that.
1.5.
yeah, well, and you both have won MVPs at other events. So we'll start with you, Rick. What are some of your great memories and thoughts of the No Glove Nationals?
The No Glove Nationals for me would be the atmosphere, the going out afterwards to the Street of Dreams over there in Forest Park, and just the amount of fans that come out to this tournament that don't come out to other tournaments. I mean, it's a great field. They're always in perfect shape. I can remember when I was young and I wanted to rain out, but these guys would get the fields ready, and I wanted to sleep in another hour, but we had to come out and play. But they do a great job out here, and it's just fun to play here.
Nice. What about you, June? What about you, Junior?
Well, Ricky touched on some of it. You know, the park's great. The fields are the best around. It's kid-friendly. Your kids can go swimming and run around. They usually have dunk tanks and all that. But what I remember, when you're playing in the big games in the semifinals and the roar of the crowd when you're having a big inning, you didn't even have to hear it from your team. The roar of the crowd would tell you that someone's having a big inning, and that I got goosebumps just thinking about it. It was great. Nothing else you could explain. 500,000 people, back and forth.
Well, Junior, you're a little different, too, because you've got a chance to play here with your brother and with your dad, like managing teams that you've played on. So that had to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Randy, he'll be here shortly. You can interview him and Ed. But it was great playing with him. He was the great player. Him and Ricky did it for a long time, and my dad coaching it. It made things a lot fun, and just being around family at the softball field was what it's all about.
Well, I got to say, if all of you younger MVPs are playing in the Legend game, there might actually be a little action this year, huh?
We might stick around for the Sunday qualifier.
There you go. But we should take 10 of you and put you in the play-in game.
5 teams tonight.
So there you have two of the great guys in softball. So here's Jeff Berger. He's on the board. He's got the MVP award out here too. So Jeff, what do you think about the 50th annual No Glove, and what are some of your great memories of this tournament?
Well, the greatest memory would probably be the first time I won it in 1995. I'll probably never forget that. That was one of the more fun games I've ever been a part of. This tournament has a special meaning. Anybody who's ever played it knows that you play a little harder, you run a little faster, and it means a little more. So it's my favorite place in the world.
There's trouble right there. I'm going to get you next, so don't get lost.
It's my favorite place in the world. So.
Well, you've played on some really, really terrific teams out here, and so you've been one of the driving factors too on those teams. So you've been a great player for a long time. And some people say you have been one of the better leaders on a field in the game's history, and I don't think anybody can argue with that.
I've been lucky enough to learn from some of the very best. When I was about 18 years old, Mike Tallow saw enough in me to pick me up to come play for him. I played with John Kelleher, with George Kelleher, believe it or not, and then the following years with Wally Filkins, and I think some of that, and Carl Maniscalco also were huge, huge influences on me becoming a leader. I wasn't a leader when I started. I like to think I became that. I
don't know. Lane Neiman said you were even as a young kid. He said you were not shy about voicing your opinion, but you talk the talk and you walk the walk. Lane always said.
There was a difference in them days when I voiced my opinion. I was out of line usually. As I got older, I was able to teach what I thought were some of the younger, more impressionable guys, and I think I was lucky enough to see them get better, which was my main goal.
Yeah, you've been one of the good players and good people in the game for a long time, Jeff. So congratulations on being honored, and you can see he's got the legend shirt on, and he'll be participating in the game. So like I said, folks, we got a younger crew of legends. Thanks, Jeff. So here we got Mark Forgetto. Mark was actually one of the first MVPs in the sense of when they started giving them out. Of course, there's Randy Russ. So let's start age before beauty.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start with Forgetto. So Mark, you're Hall of Fame member, longtime softball player, MVP. What are your thoughts about being out here at Forest Park?
Well, there's nothing better than the No Glove Nationals, George. It's, to me, this is the Nationals. You can talk about, this is Chicago, is meant to be played barehanded. We've all got the crooked fingers. Being lucky enough to be voted an MVP of a tournament like this 32 years ago now, when I was in my early 30s, is a really big honor. It just goes to show that it's not always all about offense. So the defense can work its way in now and then too. But it's a great day. Congratulations to all the inductees and honorees from this year, and it's going to be a great and happy 50th anniversary to the best park district in the state of Illinois.
And I agree. I was a short center back in the day, so I always appreciated what you and the other good ones did. Although I think I was pretty good, but nobody knows. People didn't see it, so it never happened, right? So here's Randy Russ, part of the Russ family. Great genes in there. Had the pleasure of managing Randy, and I don't think we really talked a lot. I never had to tell you anything. That was always a good thing. So what are your thoughts about this tournament?
George, like Mark said, this is the mecca of 16-inch softball. My memories of Forest Park were, last weekend in July. You got ready on Tuesday, you got your haircut on Tuesday, you let the facial hair grow out. Myself, Nicky Marchese, some of the younger guys, we'd go through our, yearly routine and stuff. We joke about it now, but, with the crowds out here, and you wanted to look good and play good, and I was fortunate enough to be on quite a few great teams, and had a chance to win quite a few of these Forest Park championships, and it all started on Friday night, and if you were standing on the field listening to the national anthem, you were in a good spot, and you were playing for a championship. So that's what it was all about.
Well, it's funny because I talked a little bit earlier today with Junior, your brother, and you guys are kind of unique in the sense that you guys were brothers and got to play in this event. And you got to do it, I think, a couple of times with your father managing or coaching on those teams.
It was definitely a unique situation. The only other ones that I know of right now are, I don't know with the father, but Wally and Keith Filkins, two of the greatest of all time and stuff. But I don't know if their dad was around to coach them. But like you said, we were lucky enough to play for my dad. We lost him this past December 1st. And he will definitely be missed, especially this weekend. The support that my family has been given through 16-inch softball with the passing of my dad has been enormous. And like I said, if I had $1 for every person, not only man but female, that came up to us and gave us our condolences on our dad's passing, it's been great.
Well, that's the part I think of this game that people forget, is that we are a tight-knit community, and even though we fight each other on the field and we have rivalries and we may hate each other when we're playing, when something happens, we usually band together pretty well.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, what happens between the lines stays between the lines. It's just the competitiveness of all of us guys that, and women as well. You can go watch 16-inch softball. I met my wife through 16-inch softball, so, that was a blessing in itself. But, usually if what happens stays between the line, happen between the line, stay between the line, and, you can have a beer afterwards and talk about it, and that's the great thing about this sport. Like you said, it's a tight-knit community, but it's expanding to newer heights these days, and with the 16-inch softball Hall of Fame. I mean, it's unbelievable. And like Mark said, congratulations to all the inductees this year, and it's great. It's a great reunion for all the past MVPs. You didn't have to be an MVP to come out here and watch the games. And I've been here 5 minutes, and I've seen guys I haven't seen in 15 years, and it's great. And I can't wait. You'll probably get me out of here at about 2 in the morning with all the storytelling and beer drinking and stuff. But it is an honor, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Well, one last thing. Your nephew Ryan now is playing with Junior on the flashback team. Now, you're an old left fielder. Used to be pretty good until you had the little issue with your patella. But how do you think he's doing in left field?
Well, like I said, I've heard a lot of great things about him. Definitely a young and up-and-coming player, and I heard he's tremendous defensively. He's very athletic. The name of the game to take yourself to the next level is hitting. If you can hit as well as you play defense, you're going to be a kid that's going to be playing this game for a long time. And he's got the pressure of being Bobby Rush Jr.'s son. So every time he makes it out, I'm sure he's going to hear about it, this and that. But he's thick-skinned and he's a very good athlete. So I wish him well. And if he ever needs any advice or whatever, I'm here to give it to him. And I can't wait to watch my nephews and hopefully my kids play 16-inch softball. And it's the greatest, like George Bliss would say, it's the greatest sport in the world.
And there you go, the great Randy Russ, as George Bliss would say, one of the all-time best. John, you were an MVP. You've played in this tournament a few times. What are some of the memories you had of the No Glove?
I would say my greatest memory is my first memory. The first year I played was with Flash. I came off the bench. We were playing gold. Wu was pitching. I hit a double to left center. We ended up winning that game, lost to the Gamblers, and then played Carpet Country. Ended up killing them and then going out the next game. I'd say that's my fondest memory.
Yeah, you never forget your first at-bat, do you, in a tournament like this?
Absolutely not.
Especially when, back then, some of the local tournaments used to get crowds, but not like this.
No, I actually got a memory against you. You may recall this, and it involved my brother.
Yeah, he hit a bomb.
You guys called timeout.
He hit a bomb to left center. The umpire said no, they had time. So the next pitch, he hits a bomb to right center.
Bro, that was awesome.
Yeah, 2 pitches, 2 bombs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Nino, it's a shame. He had some knee injuries, but he was something special. I still remember Chandler, Arizona, when you guys fought the 45s at the major, and Nino made a great catch that they didn't give him credit for.
Yeah, absolutely. We fought them a lot during my days.
Yeah, well, you played on a few teams. You played with Flash. You played a little bit with the 45s. When you got older, you were with the Roadrunners here and there.
And the Crush. I spent a lot of time with Mickey Balestri in the Crush.
Okay, well, that explains a lot of things to me.
We made it to the championship. We lost to Pugliese.
Yes, you did. There's John Scimone, one of the nicer kids in the game, and his beautiful family.